And on the Roncalli High School YouTube channel, Rob Brown with you tonight with 1 loss and 2 wins in Circle City Conference play. And then the Lady Rebels will wrap up the week on Friday night on the road on the west side at Covenant Christian before closing out the regular season next Thursday night here at home against Columbus North. And for the Lady Rebels, trying to keep the momentum going. They've won 4 in a row. A win tonight would match the season's longest winning streak of 5, which is how they began the season with 5 straight wins. Meanwhile, Bishop Chatard comes in, having won 3 of its last 4, brings a 12-7 record into the contest, while the Lady Rebels are 11-6. Roncalli has not played since last Thursday night. That was a runaway win here at the Woodshed. The Lady Rebels never trailed, winning 67-39, and in the process, that meant the 4th straight game that Roncalli has held its opponents under 40 points, and that's the first time that's happened since November of 2012, which means that the current stretch of 4 straight games holding the opposition under 40 is the first time that's happened in Stan Binge's 6 years heading up the Lady Rebel program. Meanwhile, Bishop Chatard losing in its last time out. No shame in that to Heritage Christian. That was last weekend, last Friday night, in the city tournament final. That game played on a neutral court at Cathedral. That was a 47-41 Heritage Christian win, giving Heritage Christian remarkably its 15th straight city tournament title. But Bishop Chatard battled valiantly in that one, but fell to 12-7 as a result of the loss. So a lot to cover here on this McDonald's pregame show. As we do before each and every contest, we caught up with Lady Rebels head coach Stan Binge to get his thoughts on the previous matchup for this Lady Rebels club, as well as the matchup tonight in this Circle City Conference affair with Bishop Chatard. Here was that conversation. We're here with Lady Rebels head coach Stan Binge. Lady Rebels taking on Bishop Chatard tonight. 2 conference games this week for the Lady Rebels. They'll be on the road at Covenant Christian on Friday. Before we get into the matchup for tonight's contest, let's go back to last week. Your team has not played since last Thursday, but a very solid 67-39 win over a 11-win Indian Creek team here at the Woodshed. What did you see from your team defensively as you had a chance to look over the tape?
We had talked earlier. We're playing a different style of defense, and we're starting to get it. I was pleased with Indian Creek. Indian Creek didn't have a great ball handling guard, so we were able to take advantage of it. Now these next 2 games, both teams have good ball handling guards, so we're going to see what we can do. But I was pleased with what we did last week.
You've had a chance to get some practices in between now and between your last game and tonight's game. What were, in addition to continuing to fine-tune the defense, what were some of the other focal points in practice?
Well, we're still working on our rebounding, and then offensively, we have a tendency to not go hard on our cuts so we don't get open. So we need to push the ball up with our new style and get it going. And so, you know, it's a combination of defense, offense, and just getting the new style that we're playing under to be efficient.
Going back to offense for a second, you had mentioned right about the time this winning streak started that your team had some room to grow in terms of shot selection and maybe being a little bit more patient and not settling for the first shot that they get in the set. How have you seen that evolve here the last couple games?
Well, we shot better, and you know, part of it is, you know, the teams we're playing aren't quite as good defensively, but more than that, it was just moving on offense. It's not having the ball get stuck. It's not watching one person do something. It's playing off each other, and that's been better, but we'll see what it is tonight.
You mentioned tonight's opponent, a quick guard. This is a very good Chatard team that comes in here tonight. What do you look for as keys?
Well, they were in the city finals, and you know, they've got a real good shooter, and they've got a real good point guard, and they got a big girl in the middle. So the key is for us to play with energy and play our defense the right way and push the ball up. And you know, you make the game simple when you hit shots. So, and that helps us get into our defense when we hit shots.
Lady Rebels taking on Bishop Chatard tonight here at the Woodshed. Good luck, Coach.
Thank you.
That's Lady Rebels head coach Stan Binge. We're back after this on the Rebel Media Network.
Marian University wants to know, what are you made of? At Marian University, our students are made of character and faith. Our students are service-minded and want to make a difference in the world. Our students possess the skills and intellect required of leaders. Come to Marian University, Indy's premier Catholic university, and let us help you find out what you're made of. You can apply for free today at marian.edu.
Schedule online, anytime. Getting an appointment with Ascension Care teams at St. Vincent just got easier with online scheduling. Now you don't have to break away from your day to book the care you need when and where you need it. No matter where you are or what you're up to, whether you're a new patient or if you've been here before, just pick the appointment that works for you. Schedule online, anytime at getstvincentcare.com.
Steve's Flowers and Gifts is your family-owned Indianapolis and Greenwood florist. Our mission is to establish and maintain the highest level of floral value and customer service at comfortable consumer prices. For the best and freshest flowers in Indianapolis and surrounding areas, Steve's Flowers and Gifts has exactly what you're looking for. Check out our wide selection of flower arrangements to make your next occasion memorable. Call 317-787-3431 or visit us at 3150 East Thompson Road.
Every day we go farther, try harder, and do things others think are impossible. But for people who are passionate about what they do, it's normal. At Ortho Indy, we make sure of it. As the largest sports medicine group in Indiana and the official orthopedic provider for the Pacers, our specialists work to treat your injury from diagnosis to recovery and get you back in the game because you were built to perform. Ortho Indy Sports Medicine, helping you get normal back, whatever your normal looks like. Learn more at orthoindy.com/sportsmedicine.
Rob Brown, Bob Susmichael back with you at the Woodshed on the campus of Roncalli High School. Roncalli and Bishop Chatard hooking up tonight in Circle City Conference play. Let's turn our attention in this McDonald's pregame show to what Bob Susmichael has on his mind for tonight's keys to the game.
Well, Rob, I think tonight what you're going to see is, and I don't want to sound cliche when I go to old school basketball, but Chatard is going to come out and they are going to play very I've never known a Chatard team not to be fundamentally sound. And so I think Roncalli has to also match that, you know, those fundamentals, if you will, because Chatard will take advantage of that. So we've got to get on the glass because even though it looks like size-wise they're not huge, they will send at least 3 people to the glass tonight. So I think boxing out's going to be the key. And I think patience on offense is also a key. We've got to move the ball around. We've got to not just settle for the first open look, but like I like to tell girls, don't just take a good shot, make it a great shot. And I think tonight you've got to make this Chatard defense work in order to get the looks that you're going to want.
Well, we heard Stan Bench talking beforehand in our pregame interview. The Lady Rebels have been on a great defensive role, really an unprecedented scoring defense role in Stan Bench's 6 years here. First time they've held 4 straight opponents under 40%, but these 2 games this week, a little bit different slant defensively in that both Chatard tonight and Covenant Christian on Friday night have a very dynamic, a very quick point guard that's going to really put what kind of pressure does that put on the way Roncalli wants to pick up full court?
Well, where the pressure is going to come from is the help that she's going to have to, she commands by being with that speed. So you've got to not put your teammate on an island. You've got to be able to be ready so that you've got your own teammate responsibility, but knowing that they have someone with that kind of speed, if you're not there willing to step in and help, it's going to be a long night for us because now she's going to be able to penetrate deep and it's going to cause all kinds of problems for, the other bigs and so forth.
Well, the point guard we're returning to specifically is Zakiya Rashid, who's the sophomore transfer from Avon. She's their leading scorer at 18.7 a game. And Roncalli was able to defensively in the last couple games kind of have their way because Indian Creek did not have a real dynamic point guard. Beech Grove and Franklin Central in the games before did not. So Roncalli was able to turn those teams over. But tonight, expect a little bit different flavor. So that really is going to put more pressure on those players that are in the front court on that press for Roncalli.
Right, and that's what you're saying. Now, if you help there, then the bigs can continue to be focused and do their job. If she breaks what I like to call that front line, and she starts to get into that interior, that's where a dynamic guard like that creates problems for you, because now she brings in the bigs into the mix, if you will, and opens up a lot more options. And a guard like that can also distribute the basketball, and she's good at it.
Well, Roncalli leads the all-time series with Bishop Chatard 42-15. Lady Rebels ran one in a runaway last year. That was a 72-49 win up on the north side. Roncalli scoring a season-high 72 points in that game and shot 64% from the floor. That game was a little bit atypical statistically in that the teams combined for 121 points and shot just 3 free throws between the two of them.
That's right.
Bishop Chatard did not shoot a single free throw on the night. The Lady Rebels were 3 of 3. We mentioned Roncalli with a pretty dramatic lead in the all-time series. Lady Rebels have won 10 straight meetings between these two programs. Last time Bishop Chatard beat the Lady Rebels, that was back on January the 20th, 2010, and that was a 48-36 Bishop Chatard win here at the Woodshed. And boy, you've got to go back 3 coaches for Roncalli. Sarah Riedemann was on the bench that night for the Lady Rebels, and you have to go back 2 coaches for Bishop Chatard. Bill Sylvie was on the bench that night for Bishop Chatard, and Stan Benge and Katie Fisher will do the coaching honors tonight in this matchup. Take a look at some of the other games we're tracking tonight around the area. A pretty light schedule. Lawrence Central hosting Decatur Central, Cathedral hosting Lafayette Central Catholic, and Ritter hosting Park Tudor. So not a lot going on in that regard. Just 3 games that we're keeping an eyeball on. Lady Rebels will be back at it on the court on Friday night against Covenant Christian. That game will not be broadcast here. We'll be broadcasting the boys' game here at the Woodshed against New Pal. And then, as we mentioned at the top, the Lady Rebels will wrap up the regular season next Thursday night in the finale at home against Columbus North. We see Columbus North coach Pat McKee in his lanky frame across the way here to scout the Lady Rebels. And we will have the draw of the tournament. The state tournament draw is this Sunday night coming up. So by the end of this coming weekend, we'll know the Lady Rebels' path in that 6-team sectional that will be played at Southport. We'll take our second and final break here in the McDonald's pregame show. When we come back, we'll have the lineup and the tip for tonight's game between Roncalli and Bishop Chatard. From the south side, it's coming up next on the Rebel Media Network.
Hi, folks.
Every day, we go farther, try harder, and do things others think are impossible. But for people who are passionate about what they do, it's normal. At Ortho Indy, we make sure of it. As the largest sports medicine group in Indiana and the official orthopedic provider for the Pacers, our specialists work to treat your injury from diagnosis to recovery and get you back in the game, because you were built to perform. Ortho Indy Sports Medicine, helping you get normal back, whatever your normal looks like.
What time do you have to be back to heaven?
Milto Cleaners, we're pickup artists when it comes to your clothes.
Every day, we go farther, try harder, and do things others think are impossible. But for people who are passionate about what they do, it's normal. At Ortho Indy, we make sure of it. As the largest sports medicine group in Indiana and the official orthopedic provider for the Pacers, our specialists work to treat your injury from diagnosis to recovery and get you back in the game, because you were built to perform. Ortho Indy Sports Medicine, helping you get normal back.
At one guard, 5'8", a sophomore. She's their other double-figure scorers. She averages 11.2 per game. Anna Pruitt, a 5'8" junior, averaging 5 points per game. The third guard, Zakiya Rashid, 5'8", a sophomore, averaging 19 points per game. On the front line, Mary Borchers, 5'9", a junior, averaging 5 points per game, and Erica Pemberton in the middle, 6 foot, a junior, averaging 4 points and 5 rebounds per game. Katie Fisher, the former Franklin Central and University of Indianapolis star, the head coach in his 4th season here. She is 53-41, 6 seasons overall, 74-64. That includes a couple years at Manual. For the Lady Rebels, clad in the home whites, 14 in the scorebook. Amanda Prather at one guard, 5'6", the senior, averaging 5 points per game. Maddie Bischoff, the second guard, 5'9", the sophomore, averaging 16 points per game. Alana Vinson, the third guard, 5'10", a junior, averaging 15.3 points per game. On the front line, Sophie Carr, the 5'11", sophomore, averaging 3 points per game, and Anna Bauer in the middle. Anna, the 5'10", senior, averaging 5 points per game. The Hall of Famer Stan Benj is the head coach. His 6th season here, 101-44 his record. 32 seasons overall, the 4th winningest coach in girls basketball history in Indiana. 620 and 170 is his record overall, assisted by Tim Crispin and Denise McClanahan. Tonight's officials, Craig McCarty, the crew chief, out there with Randy Hall and Mark Sexton. Bishop Chatard in the Royal Blues. White Bishop Chatard block lettering in the white numerals. Lady Rebels in the home whites. Red block Rebel lettering and the red numerals with the navy trim. Gray fade on the shorts. Happy you're with us on a Wednesday night from the south side. Pemberton and Carr will jump it up. Lady Rebels heading right to left, away from our vantage point toward the south goal in this first half. And the tap is controlled in the backcourt by Roncalli. Bischoff working on the right side in the paint with the left hand, got to the rim, scooped it up and in, all the way to the goal. Good start for Roncalli, sets up the full court pressure off the make. And they get it, hit it ahead quickly over the top to Pruitt. And she ties it up.
I don't know what happened there. We didn't seem to have anybody back deep for Roncalli.
Vincent drives left side, fading away, throws it over the rim. It's rebounded in traffic by Pemberton. Borchers hits it ahead to Rashid. Rashid, stop and go move against Prather. Sidestepping the paint, bumped into Carr, lost the handle. Prather heads the other way with it. Left side, Sophie Carr into the paint, turns the corner, leaves for Bischoff. Spot up three, right side is long. Rebound, Bauer fights for it, loose on the deck. Carr has it. Back cutting is Bischoff. She put it up and off the rim. Rebound scooped out of there by Bauer. Carr fakes a 15-footer, finds Vincent at the foul line for the jumper up and in. Well, hectic pace early. Roncalli leads 4-2, 1 minute in. On that previous Chatard, on that first possession, though, when Rashid threw it over the top, Bob, you saw what a composed point guard does against pressure.
Absolutely right. I mean, yes.
McGinley in the right corner, her first touch. Takes the left-hand dribble to the foul line, floats to Borchers for a high arcing three that's off the heel of the rim. Rebound tapped by Bischoff to Prather. Amanda up the floor to Vincent. Alana's led Roncalli in scoring in 7 straight games, including 22 in the big win on Thursday night last week. Bischoff drive and leave. Carr spot up on the baseline. 17-footers too strong, and Rashid brings it the other way for the Trojans. Cut off at the arc by Bauer. She's doubled. McGinley thought about a three. Back to Rashid, fakes the three, pull in 16-footer, partially blocked. And off the end line, ooh, I don't know. That goes back to Roncalli. I'm not sure Bauer didn't get a piece of that one.
I think Anna did get a piece of that, but
Roncalli will take the whistle and lead 4-2. Katie Fisher certainly thought Bauer got a piece of it. Prather, high right. Checked by Pruitt. Ball swung in the left corner to Vincent. Played by Borchers on the recovery. Vincent's cut off in a double. Finds Bauer for a set shot corner three that's corner long two that's short. And McGinley tracks down the long carom. McGinley through the lane, lost the handle. Poked free from behind by Carr, but Sophie cannot corral it. Off the end line, it stays with the Trojans. Very entertaining JV game earlier tonight that Bishop Chatard won, 54-48. Off the inbound, Rashid fakes a three into the paint. Finds Pemberton with a turnaround from right in front of the rim, puts it up and in. Boy, Pemberton has some length. She ties the game. Prather runs into Pemberton and a blocking foul called.
Ooh.
That was the old Roy Hibbert move, straight up in the air. Pemberton didn't go anywhere, but a foul called.
Yeah.
She was guilty of being in the way.
Chatard foul number 41, Erica Pemberton,
her first team first. Prather baseline right on the inbound. Bischoff has a good look at a three. Bang! She got it. Maddie Bischoff, three-pointer number 29 of her season. And the lead back to three for Roncalli. Rashid cut off, across the paint to Pemberton. Open three-point shooter. Pruitt fakes a three, pulls in, shoots a long two, and gets a roll. Pruitt has 4 of their 6. Hit ahead, McGinley broke it up, knocked out of bounds. Who got it last?
Yep.
Bauer did. This game has unfolded just like we thought it would. Very entertaining first couple of minutes. McGinley measures a long three, and she got it. Three-pointer number 29 for McGinley. She and Rashid both. Rashid comes in with 41. That's the first Chatard lead of the night on McGinley's three. Bischoff crosses up. Pruitt gets to the rim, but the shot blocked by Pemberton straight up. Here comes Pruitt the other way. Bounces to Borchers running the right wing. Pull up 14-footer is good.
Yep, you knew that was coming. They've had a run here.
They want to play fast. They like the quick tempo. And Roncalli calls a 30-second timeout. Stan Bench will keep it here. 4:27 to go here in quarter number 1 on our Chick-fil-A scoreboard. The Trojans lead 11-7.
Established in 1969 through the consolidation of Chartrand High School and Kennedy Memorial High School, Roncalli today serves almost 1,200 students. The majority of students are enrolled in a college preparatory curriculum, but the school offers a comprehensive curriculum for students of all levels of ability. Roncalli High School, preparation for life.
Trojans have rolled off 7 in a row, lead 11-7. This is the first time in the calendar year 2019 that Roncalli has trailed.
And you would know that.
They had not trailed in all 3 games so far this calendar year, and had not trailed since the second quarter rather, of their final win of 2018 against Floyd Central. Neither team has gone to the bench yet. Actually, they have. Abby Carr's in for Roncalli. Came in during that stoppage, picked up her dribble. Ooh. Almost a 5-second count. Now Bauer attacks with no real mission. Abby Carr, a wild flip shot at the rim that Bauer rebounds. Nice bounce into Vincent. She puts it up, puts it in. Well, that was not the most attractive possession, but it ends in a bucket. Back quickly the other way. Chatard pushing the pace. McGinley has it at the volleyball line. Drives with the left-hand dribble on Vincent. The runner is off the rim. Rebounded by Alana. Taken the other way. Bischoff gets out ahead of the field. To the bucket. Put it up. It danced off the iron, but Abby Carr cannot collect it. Out of bounds back to the Trojans. Here comes Ellie Hammerschmidt in. 5'8", the junior. Replacing Bischoff, who checks out with 5. of Roncalli's 9. 11-9 the score. Bishop Chatard on top. Rashid gets it in the forecourt with a bounce to Borchers. Now Pruitt. Back to Rashid. A long three out front. High arcer is good. Oh, my.
That's some range right there, Rob.
That was a long one by Rashid. Back to a 5-point lead. Second three for the Trojans in this ball game. Carr through the paint. Short arms a shot at the rim, but she's fouled by Pemberton. I think that's Pemberton's foul. If it is, it's her second. Nope, they gave it to Pruitt on the help.
Foul number 11, Anna Pruitt. Her first team second.
Her first team second. Abby Carr tees up 2 at the first free throws of the night for Roncalli. First subs of the game for Chatard stepping in. Grace Adams is in, 5'5", a freshman, and Anna Winch, a 5'9", junior, coming in. Pruitt and Borchers have a seat. Carr's second free throw up and in. Abby, a 53%er on the year. Pulls Roncalli back to within 3. 14-11. McGinley doubled, still has to get it over the timeline, and Rashid still in the backcourt. Finally does. Drives on Bauer. Nice dish underneath to Pemberton, who laid it in.
Rob, that's what I was talking about. If you allow her to make that second tier.
Abby Carr to the rim, missed the shot. McGinley fights for it with Bauer, and it may have hit Pemberton's foot.
It did.
As it rolled off the end line. Hammerschmidt inbounding baseline left. Into Prather. Amanda picked up her dribble. Now Abby Carr got away with a discontinued dribble. Finds Prather on a nice cut, but Amanda missed the shot. Nice tap to Bauer on the rebound, and Bauer draws the foul. I'm not sure how the coaching staff will stat that, but we used to call that in the NBA a controlled tip. And Prather would get that offensive rebound. Adams takes the foul, her first team third. Bauer shoots 2. Free one up, free one in. And Sarah Meek coming on. 5'9", the junior, replacing Pemberton. Bauer, Bob, looking not any way, shape, or form like a 31%er on that first free throw. Second one on the way. That one hard off the heel of the rim.
Rushed that one.
Run down by Rashid. Rashid driving in the corner to McGinley. Sets for 3. That one's an air ball over the rim, but Adams is there and missed the putback. Make that Meek, rather, and Vincent sees it knocked off the end line. Back to Roncalli. Oh, my. I'm not sure about that.
Nope, not at all.
16-12 the score. 2:20 to go first quarter. Chatard on top. Boy, Rashid's had her way right now, Bob. It's almost like a quarterback who has too much time in the pocket.
Yeah.
She's been able to sit back and just pick Roncalli apart in the half court. Nice back cut by Hammerschmidt. Knocked off the end line by Rashid on the bounce pass.
And that's what I was saying, that like a key, right? She's getting into what I would call that second level. And when she gets there, like that last play to Pemberton, it was just an easy dish and 2 points.
Nice pass off the inbound. Hammerschmidt found Abby Carr on the curl, and Abby lays it in. 16-14, Roncalli back within 2. McGinley up the floor, baseball pass ahead, and a nice flip by Adams. It looked like she got in too deep, but she was able to contort herself and put it in. Nice play. Abby Carr with steam to the goal, and she's fouled by McGinley. Heard the wrist slap from 70 feet away. McGinley's first, team fourth.
At the line for the Rebels, Abby Carr.
Abby Carr at the line for 2 more. She made 2 moments ago. First one up, first one in. Bischoff's back in for Prather. This is the 18th game of the year for Roncalli, and they've allowed just 3 20-point quarters in the previous 17 games, and Chatard is 2 points away. Carr with 6 points off the bench, and she makes both. And a baseball pass ahead that Bischoff steals in the forecourt. Now Maddie through the lane, finds Bauer for the set shot corner jumper that's short. Rebound ricochets out of bounds off of Meek. Back to Roncalli.
Into the game for Roncalli, number 20,
Sophie Carr returns for Bauer, who gets her first rest of the night. Hammerschmidt inbounding in the deep left corner. Takes a look, flings it out toward Abby Carr at the top of the circle. Abby driving to the bucket, stops at the block, needs help, finds Hammerschmidt. Out top, Bischoff. Maddie has Roncalli's only 3 thus far. 1:25 to go, first quarter. Chatard on top, 18-16. Bischoff gets a screen, dribbles and shots up a three behind it. Bang! She got it.
Three-pointer, Maddie Bischoff.
Boy, Abby Carr like a pulling guard there on that screen. McGinley got the step, got to the rim. She lost the handle on the way up, but was still able to finish. 20-19 the score. And a corner two, a long two by Abby Carr, who has 8 points off the bench. Back and forth we go. And a foul on Hammerschmidt.
Foul number 23.
That's her first, team first.
Team's first. Entering the game for the Rebels, number 12, Amanda.
Prather's back in for Vinson. McGinley, baseball pass in the forecourt, broken up by Hammerschmidt. Fighting for it with Adams. It goes out of bounds on the far sideline. Last touched by Adams.
Wow.
3 lead changes in the last 30 seconds. Roncalli up 1 with the ball. Final 40 seconds from a very entertaining and fast-paced first period here at the Woodshed. Bischoff crosses up all the way to the bucket. Nobody there to stop her at the rim. She lays it in. Maddie has 10 in the quarter. It's a 3-point Roncalli lead, matching the biggest of the night. Final 20 seconds. Rashid out between the circles. Takes a glance at the clock. Drives on Prather to the elbow. Behind the back dribble. Pull-up jumper off the mark. Rebounded by Bischoff. She has time. Maddie looks at the clock. Crosses up McGinley to the bucket. Fading away. Put it up and in. Boy, Bischoff with 12 in the quarter. Baseball pass ahead. McGinley to Rashid. She was trying to get to the top of the circle and shoot the three, but the buzzer beat her to it. So a late rush by Roncalli, turning a 5-point deficit in the final 3 minutes to a 5-point lead, and lead 25-20 on our Chick-fil-A board as we head to quarter number 2. Stay tuned. It's Around the Bend after this on the Rebel Media Network.
Marian University wants...
Whatever your normal looks like. Every day we go farther, try harder, and do things others think are impossible. But for people who are passionate about what they do, it's normal. At Ortho Indy, we make sure of it. As the largest sports medicine group in Indiana and the official orthopedic provider for the Pacers, our specialists work to treat your injury from diagnosis to recovery and get you back in the game, because you were built to perform. Ortho Indy Sports Medicine, helping you get normal back, whatever your normal looks like. Every day we go farther, try harder, and do things others think are impossible. But for people who are passionate about what they do,
20 to
it's
score.
normal.
Roncalli leads
At Ortho
after
Indy,
one
we
period.
make sure of it. As the largest
High-scoring
sports medicine
affair here
group
at the
in
Woodshed.
Indiana
Happy you're
and
with
the
us.
official...
We had 2 ties and 4 lead changes in that first quarter. Roncalli's biggest lead, 5, is where it stands right now. Chatard also a 5-point lead in that first quarter. Set the lineups for you on the run. McGinley out there with Rashid. Borchers is back in. Adams and Pemberton. McGinley's open for another 3, and that one's too strong. Run down by Abby Carr. The Carr twins are out there, Abby and Sophie, along with Hammerschmidt. Bischoff and Prather. Sophie Carr cut off by Pemberton, finds Abby on the cut, runs into Pemberton, flips it up and in. Well, Abby Carr has 10 points off the bench. Back the other way, Adams got in too deep, missed the layup. Hit ahead, Rashid pokes it free at the timeline, and Adams collects the loose ball and draws a foul on Prather.
Foul number 12, Amanda Prather. Her first, team second. Entering the game for the Rebels, number 11, Alana Vincent.
Well, Randy Hall just told Katie Fisher to get back in the coach's box. 27-20 the score. Rashid, high-low lob into Pemberton, throws it over her head and out of bounds.
It was a good look. I think she was deep enough. If I was her, I think I would have probably
pulled up and shot it. Yep. Prather, Bischoff with it. Gets a screen from Sophie Carr, steps back into a 3. Bang! She got it again. Boy, Maddie Bischoff has it dialed in right now. Bischoff with 15 in the ball game, 3 threes, and Katie Fisher has seen enough. She wants a 30-second timeout. Will stay here. 30-20 the score. Roncalli leads. 6:57 to go first half.
Rooted in Southside Indianapolis, Jockeys Flowers is a household name among the community and local businesses alike. Family owned and operated, Jockeys Flowers delivers quality through customer satisfaction and consistently stunning displays, baskets, and stonework. Call Jockeys at 784-1614.
Rob Brown alongside the consistently stunning Bob Susmichael.
Wow,
Pleased that you're with us on a Wednesday night.
I really don't deserve that, but
oh,
thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Roncalli has scored 11 straight to turn a 2019 deficit into a 30-20 lead. Dee Dee Caskey has come on for the first time, the 5'6" junior. Rashid surveys, drives on Prather. No space to shoot the pull-up jumper to McGinley. She drives to Caskey. Caskey down the lane, kicks to Borchers for a corner jumper that rolls good. Well, that was a much-needed bucket for Chatard. Roncalli had rolled off 11 in a row. Corner jumper by Prather is long. One-hand rebound. Abby Carr had it momentarily. Rashid scoops it up, 2-on-3. Rashid down the left side. Flip pass to Borchers in the lane. Borchers tries to get out of the lane with the basketball. Pemberton fumbling with it. McGinley's left alone for 3. She got it. Never leave the basketball, Bob.
No.
Prather flips it up at the rim and it rolls off. Rebound saved off the end line. Who got it last? Rashid touched it last. And it stays at the Roncalli end.
One thing I'm a little surprised at, Rob, and out of this Chatard team is you don't see them flying to the rebound as I've normally have coached against them and seen. So I'm a little surprised with that.
Vincent's back in for Abby Carr. Bischoff, Rashid closed out on her, stopped the 3. Now Prather regroups out front. Bounce to Vincent, who returns. Alana has 4. Over to Prather. 5-point lead. Prather got away with a carry at the foul line, backing in on McGinley. Leaves it for Abby Carr, who lost Sophie Carr, lost the handle, and then McGinley couldn't corral it. Off the end line, it stays at Roncalli. 30-25 the score. 5:40 to go first half. Roncalli's lead is 5. Prather baseline right. On a cut to Vincent, who puts it up and in. Alana with 6. Back to a 7-point advantage. McGinley doubled, finds Borchers at the top of the key into Pemberton. Knocked free by Bauer. Caskey tips it to Vincent. Alana looks up the floor. Finds Bischoff leaking out. Maddie underneath, put it up, put it in. Bischoff has 17. And it's 34-25. McGinley splits the defenders coming down the left side of the lane and draws a foul. That's on Vincent, her first. Team third. Boy, Bob, you look down for a second to make a note in your scorecard, and you look up again and something else is happening.
Yeah, it is. It's fast paced for sure. And I don't know who that advantage goes to that way, Rob.
Hammerschmidt's in for Bischoff. Maddie checking out with 17 points. McGinley missed the first free throw. Second one on the way, long on the back of the rim, and Bauer secures it. Those are the first 2 free throw attempts of the night for the Trojans. Vincent in the lane with the left hand, tucks it in, flips it up, way short. McGinley with inside position, heads the other way against Bauer. Over to Rashid. Rashid so composed with that dribble out front. Checked by Prather. Bounce to McGinley. Prather closes out. McGinley dribbles to the corner, back to Rashid. She's open for a long 3 out front. That's off the heel of the rim, and the rebound rainbows to Prather. Leaking out is Vincent, but the pass is over her head, and it goes to Jack Wardzala, who's taking pictures down in the corner. The All-State defensive end down there in the corner taking pictures tonight. Pruitt back in the ball game, brings the dribble into the forecourt. 9-point Roncalli lead. 4.5 to go, first quarter. Rashid. Back to Prather, back to Rashid. Roncalli goes 2-3 for the first time tonight. Rashid looking, to Pruitt out top. Pruitt drives into the teeth of it. Now to Rashid. Finds McGinley on the baseline. Pass too high. McGinley resets to Borchers. Rashid fakes a three. Into the paint. Pull up off the window too strong. And Bauer fights for the rebound with her teammate. Stan Bench calls time. 30-second timeout called to maintain the Roncalli possession. 3:59 to go in the half. Roncalli leads on the Chick-fil-A board, 34-25. McGinley has 8 for the Trojans. Let's reset the lineups for you. Prather, Vincent, Bischoff, Sophie Carr, Bauer, original starters on the floor for Roncalli. Likewise, Chatard. Borchers, Pemberton. As Borchers fights through a Sophie Carr screen and takes a foul. That's her first and the team's 5th. Pemberton checks out. And Wunsch is back in. Prather on the near sideline. In the corner, Sophie Carr. Starting a man-to-man. Bauer posting on McGinley. Pass over her head and out of bounds. I think McGinley might have done the old pull the chair move there. And if she did, I applaud it.
Yes, you're absolutely
right. That's a veteran move right
there.
there.
That is a veteran move.
Bauer was leaning heavily, and McGinley jumped out from behind. Bauer stumbled, and the pass went over her head. McGinley has it at the right arc. Dribble handoff to Pruitt. Pruitt at the volleyball line. 3.5 to go in the second quarter. Pruitt drives. Corner three on the way by Borchers, an air ball over the rim. Rebound fought for. Wunsch clears it out of there. Tried to anyway, and a timeout called by Fisher. Katie Fisher calls time before Wunsch is tied up. Full timeout. Full timeout. Our sponsors will appreciate that. We'll take one as well. 3:19 to go, first half. Roncalli leads on the Chick-fil-A board, 34-25. We're back after this on the Rebel Media Network.
Chick-fil-A.
Tonight's copyright telecast is a production of the Rebel Media Network and Roncalli High School. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any format without the express written consent of the Rebel Media Network. Chatard on the inbound. Rashid looked at a three. Bumped by Prather. Pass in the corners, deflected and stolen by Bischoff. Maddie into the forecourt. Each team with fouls to give. Bischoff stutter stepping, got to the rim with that left-hand scoop. And Maddie has 19 in this first half. The lead is 11. Rashid's fouled in the deep backcourt. Roncalli with fouls to give, however. Just the 4th-team foul.
Rebel foul number 24, Maddie Bischoff.
Bischoff's first, team 4th.
Team's 4th.
This 11-point lead is the biggest of the night for Roncalli. McGinley in the deep backcourt. Out of the double, finds Wunsch. Gets it right back. Ooh, deflected by Bauer into the Trojan bench. Stays with Chatard. 36-25. McGinley working against Prather. Picked up her dribble, cross-court pass, dangerous pass.
Yeah.
Now Rashid works in the forecourt. Slides it in the corner to Borchers. Out to McGinley, who's open for a long three that grazes the net and into the stage out of bounds.
Rob, I've noticed in this pretty much the whole second quarter, your thought on it seems like Chatard is doing what we talked about. We didn't want to see the Rebels, and that's just settling for that first shot off of a pass. And I don't know if I'm Katie, if I'm real happy with that kind of offense.
11-point Roncalli lead, its biggest. Prather picked up her dribble at the top of the circle, needs help. Bounce to Bischoff. Maddie has 19 in this first half. Takes the dribble to the corner. Now gets a screen. Pull up in the lane. Rolls good from 12. And Maddie has 21. Her fifth 20-point game of her career and the fourth this year. 38-25. 2:05 to go. First half. Borchers in the corner. Pruitt. Into the lane with the left-hand dribble. Bumped by Sophie Carr. Flips it up. No, but draws a foul. And shoots two with 1:54 left. That foul on Sophie Carr, her first. Team fifth. Not a lot of free throws in this game. Roncalli has shot 6. These are attempts 3 and 4 for the Trojans, and Pruitt misses the first. She is just a 32%er as Pruitt.
11 Anna Pruitt at the line for the Trojans.
Chatard as a team shoots 58% from the line. Roncalli 61. One more for Pruitt, the left-hander. That one off the heel of the rim, and Bauer collects the rebound to Prather. Amanda gives to Abby Carr. Abby cut off on a drive to Bauer. Back to Abby Carr posting. Nice entry from Bauer.
Yes, it was.
On the repost by Abby Carr, and Abby's tied her career high, has 12 off the bench here in the first half. The lead is 12. McGinley in the paint, draws the contact in route. Home fans wanted the free arm there, but Sophie Carr was not situated. Make that Abby Carr, beg your pardon. Abby's first, team 6. So Roncalli is out of fouls with 1:32 to go in the half. Chatard still has 1 to give. Pruitt to McGinley at the arc. She crosses up on Prather, stumbling into the paint, and a foul called on the pass. But that's team foul 7, so McGinley has a 1-and-1 in the offing with 1:29 to go in the half. Hand check foul on Prather, her second. Team 7. 1-and-1 for McGinley, who has a team-high 8 points. Free throw up, and it kicks off. But it's rebounded by Wunsch. Out to McGinley in the corner, Borchers. Rashid resets, left of the arc.
Chatard has only had 5 points in this quarter.
Roncalli with 15. McGinley. Pruitt out between the circles, looks back at the bench to see what Coach Fisher wants. Bischoff applying pressure. Rashid has it at the arc. Step back 3 over Prather is good. Oh my. That was a James Harden step back, and Prather was caught in the quicksand. Vincent stop and go move. Left hand shot blocked by Borchers. Pulled out there by McGinley. Chatard on the run with numbers, 5-on-3. Rashid to the right corner. Nice bounce to Borchers, who put it up and in.
Wow.
What a find. 5 straight points by the Trojans, back to within 10. Prather down the lane, stumbling, lost the handle, on the deck. Squirts off the end line, last touch by the road team. And it stays with Roncalli, but a little burst here by the Trojans to close out the half.
Rebels need to just settle things here, get a good inbounds play, and get a work for a good last shot, if nothing else.
34.5 seconds to go. The lead is 10. Second straight game that Roncalli scored 40 points or more in the first half. Stan Benj wants 1 shot, I believe. Chatard has a foul to give before Roncalli's in the bonus. Prather blows right by Rashid for a layup. Wow. That's Amanda's first bucket of the night. That was too easy.
Good for Amanda. She really read that. They pulled everybody high, and Amanda took advantage of that. Good for her.
McGinley into the forecourt with time. Lost the handle to Rashid. Prather pokes it free. She has time. All the way to the goal. Put it up. Put it in with the left hand. So 4 straight points by Prather to close out the half. And that pushes Roncalli's lead back to 14 at 44-30. Lady Rebels outscoring the Trojans in that first half, make it 40. I'm not sure that score's right. We'll go ahead and sort it out. We'll come back and tell you all about it. Roncalli leads at the break. Beck Service Center halftime show up next on the Rebel Media Network.
Every day, we go farther, try harder, and do things others think are impossible. But for people who are passionate about what they do, orthopedic provider for the Pacers, our specialists work to treat your injury from diagnosis to recovery and get you back in the game because you were built to perform. Ortho Indy Sports Medicine, helping you get normal back, whatever your normal looks like. Because you were built to perform. Ortho Indy Sports Medicine.
Are you a barista? Because I like you a latte. Milto Cleaners, we're pickup artists when it comes to your clothes.
Second straight game, the Lady Rebels have scored 44 points in the first half. They did that last Thursday night in a 67-39 win over Indian Creek. Let's take a look at how the first half unfolded. A high-scoring first quarter as both teams hit the 20-point mark. Roncalli led 25-20 after one quarter and closed the quarter on a 6-0 burst. They scored then the first five and led 25-20, scored the first 6 points of the second quarter and led 30-20 before Chatard found the scoreboard. Roncalli would lead by as much as 15 in the first half. That was at 50-25. All told, it was a 19-10 advantage in period number 2. Roncalli led by Maddie Bischoff. Second time this year, Bischoff has scored 21 points, or 20 points or more in a half. She scored 29 against Guerin Catholic back on November the 10th. The difference in that game, Bob, Bischoff, as the game got sideways, Bischoff did not play much in the second half and only finished with 31. She's well on her way to a career high tonight with 21 here at the half. Meanwhile, Moira McGinley has 8 to lead the Trojans.
Yeah, she, you know, and the thing about the Rebels there, like we talked about, is obviously Maddie's getting her shots, and I think she's picking them in good spots, which is good for her. She needs to do that. But, you know, looking down at our scoring distribution here, first of all, Prather with that quick burst. I mean, those were big 4 points, you know, in that to close out the quarter. And then what about Abby Carr? She's had a solid first half.
Tied a career high.
And really has occupied that middle, which then helps Maddie open up for those shots that she's getting to look for. And I know that a lot of times that goes unnoticed, but something like that Carr and Bauer brings it every night, they really do help those scorers get those looks that they want.
Well, Roncalli leads by 14 here at the break, 44-30. We're going to take our first break here on the Beck Service Center halftime show. When we come back, Bob will run down tonight's first half totals, and we'll have it next after this on the Rebel Media Network.
Hi, folks.
Are you a barista? Because I like you a latte. Milto Cleaners, we're pickup artists when it comes to your clothes.
Every day we go farther, try harder, and do things others think are impossible. But for people who are passionate about what they do, it's normal. At Ortho Indy, we make sure of it. As the largest sports medicine group in Indiana and the official orthopedic provider for the Pacers, our specialists work to treat your injury from diagnosis to recovery and get you back in the game, because you were built to perform. Ortho Indy Sports Medicine, helping you get normal back, whatever your normal looks like.
What time do you have to be back to heaven?
Rob Brown, Bob Michael back with you at the Woodshed. Roncalli leads Bishop Chatard 44-30 at the break. Let's take a look at tonight's halftime numbers. Bob has those.
For the Bishop Chatard Trojans, we have Maura McGinley with 8 points, their leading scorer. Mary Borchers has 6. Anna Pruitt contributed 4. Rashid has 6. Grace Adams 2. And Pemberton rounds out the scoring with 4 points for a total of 30 for the Trojans in the first half. Your Rebels this evening, Alana Vincent has 6. Amanda Prather 4, those coming there in that last quick burst before the halftime. Abby Carr, again, like we said, 12, solid 12, good first half. Madeline Bischoff had 21. Anna Bauer with 1. To round out the scoring for the Rebels for a total of 44 first half points.
Roncalli leads by 14 at the break. We'll go ahead and take our second and final 2-minute break here on the Beck Service Center halftime show. When we come back, we'll take you up to the third quarter. After this, on the Rebel Media Network.
Chick-fil-A cares about...
Every day we go farther, try harder, and do things others think are impossible. But for people who are passionate about what they do, it's normal. At Ortho Indy, we make sure of it. As the largest sports medicine group in Indiana and the official orthopedic provider for the Pacers, our specialists work to treat your injury from diagnosis to recovery and get you back in the game, because you were built to perform. Ortho Indy Sports Medicine, helping you get normal back, whatever your normal looks like.
What time do you have to be back to heaven?
Milto Cleaners, we're pickup artists when it comes to your clothes.
Michael back with you at the Woodshed. We move toward the start of the second half. Bishop Chatard trails Roncalli 44-30. Thank you so much for being part of our proceedings tonight. Great to have you with us. Whether you're following along with the audio stream on rebelmedianetwork.com or watching on the school YouTube channel. Great to have that video component with us tonight. Stefan Welsh overseeing the operations. Jacob Taylor, our student director tonight, running the controls, and Logan Curie on the camera tonight at half court. We'll be back with you on Friday night as the boys will be back here at the Woodshed, coming off their first road win of the year, winning a thriller last night at Shelbyville, 56-55.
Let me digress for a moment and ask you about that game. I only saw bits and pieces. How did
back
the Rebels...
Back and forth, 14 lead changes.
Rebels played well?
Rebels played well. Their best defensive fourth quarter of the season, just 10 points allowed. Came from 4 down early in the quarter. Shut the Golden Bears out for about 3.5 minutes. And Shelbyville had 3 3-pointers in the final 30 seconds, any of which would have won the game, and they all came long. And then Anthony Donahue collected the rebound, hit a couple free throws, and then the Golden Bears threw in a half-court shot at the horn to make it a 1-point game. Good win against a team that has an Indiana All-Star in Zach Kuhn. We're back to it. Bischoff throws up an air ball from 8 feet on the first possession of this third quarter, and Chatard comes out the other way.
And good for our friend Mr. Wantz. He needed that.
Yep.
Him and the team needed that victory.
McGinley's open for 3. That one caroms to the right side, and Bauer watches it trickle off the sideline. Let's set the lineups for you. 19 seconds into this third quarter. Prather, Vincent, Bauer, Bischoff, and Sophie Carr, original starting 5 on the floor for Roncalli. Likewise, the Trojans with Rashid, McGinley, Pruitt, Borchers, and Pemberton. Bauer drives by McGinley. Pemberton's there to contest, and Bauer's missed the shot. But Sophie Carr fights for the rebound out of bounds. Goes back to Chatard.
Wow. I mean, right there, you just got to stop, pull up. That shot has to be made. I liked Anna's quick move, but she's got to finish that.
44-30. McGinley, hook pass in the forecourt to Borchers, top of the circle. In the corner, pass deflects right to Rashid. Nice pass and low to Pemberton, who fumbled, but collects and kicks out to McGinley for 3. That rolls off the front of the rim, and Vincent takes the rebound away from Pemberton. Outlet ahead, but a foul called behind the play on Pemberton. Her first, and the team's first. Her second, beg your pardon. Jeff Biltz down the clock. Not sure who was quicker with that. Bob Susan-Michael or Jeff Biltz with that second foul correction. I think Bob got it by a hair. Bischoff comes to get it. She has 21. Now Vincent operates between the circles, gets a moving screen from Sophie Carr. Vincent goes to the corner, cut off, finds Sophie. She drives by Pemberton and gives to Bauer in the corner. Sophie in deep, and she's blocked on the baseline by Pemberton. That's the second foul in about 20 seconds on Pemberton, third in the game. And Anna Wunsch is back in. Winch back in. Prather baseline left on the inbound. Finds Vincent on a nice curl, who puts it up and in. Alana with 8.
Great look, great find, but I will tell you as a coach, that drives you absolutely bonkers.
Give up a layup on a baseline inbound. Bischoff in the passing lane, able to knock it into the bench, as Chatard had numbers on the back end of the Roncalli press. Pruitt inbounding in front of the Trojan man. Rashid will put it in. Top of the key extended on the near sideline. Pruitt has it. Roncalli in a man-to-man. Bischoff pokes the basketball, and Pruitt goes to the wing, hands to McGinley. One-hand bounce to Rashid in the corner. Jumps up a 3 over Prather, in and out, and rebounded by Sophie Carr. Outlets ahead to Prather, and Prather's alertly tied up by McGinley, forced to travel. That was a nice play by McGinley because she gave Prather room to land and turn right into the pressure.
Yeah, that was a good heads-up defensive play.
Ooh, and a push-off foul on the inbound called on Pruitt. So the Trojans turn it right back over. Pruitt may have gotten away with that on the previous possession, but not that time. 46-30 the score, 2 minutes into the third quarter. Vincent. Now Bischoff has it between the circles. Crosses up, cut off. Regroups, attacks with the left-hand scoop, off the window and in. Bischoff with 23. A little 4-point burst to start the second half has given Roncalli its biggest lead, 18. Winch in the corner finds Pruitt for a 3 that's long. And McGinley picks Vincent's pocket and a double dribble called. Oh my.
Oh.
I'm not sure McGinley ever had possession there to make that call legitimate. Either way, though, the Rebels will take the turnover. Up 18, 48-30. Vincent fumbled out near the timeline against McGinley's pressure, but got it back. Now gets it back from Sophie Carr on the roll, but missed the layup. McGinley contests. Here comes Rashid the other way. Stop and go dribbling. In the lane, lost the handle. Bischoff with a steal. Now it's a foot race to the goal. Maddie all the way, put it up, blocked. Rebounded by Prather. She turns, puts it up, no. Got her own rebound, put it up, and in. Wow. Timeout. Well, they missed a couple layups, but Prather able to finish it. And Katie Fisher has seen enough. Full timeout called by the Trojans. Roncalli's lead is 20. We'll step out and come back after this 30-second pause on the Rebel Media Network.
Steve's Flowers and Gifts.
As you learn what it means to be a Marian University Knight, you'll begin defining your life's purpose, personal strengths, and a vision for your future. Visit marian.edu and find out, what are you made of? Go Knights.
Rob Brown with you tonight, alongside a man whose vision is crystal clear, Bob Suesmichael. Roncalli pressing after the made bucket and the Chatard timeout. Rashid finds McGinley racing up into the forecourt. Stop and go drive, runs into the defense and travels.
That was very good defense by Sophie Carr. She held her ground. She didn't reach. She didn't come slapping down on the ball, and she inevitably forced a turnover.
50-30. Roncalli with a 6-point run to start this second half. Sophie Carr drives to the foul line, finds Bischoff on a back cut, is poked free. Maddie got it back, blocked from behind by McGinley. Adams and Bauer collide for the rebound, and the arrow favors Chatard. So the Trojans get it back. Still looking for their first points in the second half. Rashid across the timeline. Picks up her dribble. Tried to find a back-cutting Winch, but is stolen away by Sophie Carr. Sophie into the forecourt. Trojans hustling back defensively. Bischoff sets up the offense out top between the circles. Hand off to Bauer. Anna turns the corner. Down the lane. In the traffic. Stripped on the way up. Got it back to Sophie Carr, and she's fouled at the right block and shoots two with 4:17 to go in the quarter. That foul on Borchers. Her second, team fourth. Stan Bench has played 2 reserves so far tonight, and they both wait at the table, Abby Carr and Ellie Hammerschmidt. Sophie Carr's first free throw off the back of the rim is long. Vincent has a seat. Hammerschmidt returns. Abby Carr waits to check in for her twin sister Sophie if Sophie can connect on the second free throw, and she does. First point of the night for Sophie.
And 21, Abby Carr.
And Abby Carr on. Abby tied a career high with 12 points off the bench in the first half. 51-30, 21-point Roncalli lead. Winch can run the baseline if she wants. Gives to Rashid, who's now in the forecourt, attacking in the paint. Big steps to the goal. Bischoff got a piece, and Hammerschmidt has the rebound. Hook pass ahead to Prather. Diagonal to Bauer, who got in deep. Collection dribble, blocked by McGinley at the rim, and a foul called. Puts Bauer at the line for 2. McGinley's foul, her second.
Trojan foul number 4, Maura McGinley.
Already the team's 5th.
Team's 5th. Anna Bauer at the line for the Rebels.
Bauer shoots 2, where she's 1 for 2 tonight. First one up and in. She's actually pretty effective when she slows down, Bob.
Huh.
Imagine that.
I don't know where she learned that from, but...
Second one slams off the rim, and it's collected in the corner by McGinley. 52-30. The lead is 22.
It must be from our broadcast partner at football.
No question. Stop and go drive by Adams. Tried to feed it across the paint, but it's broken up and stolen. Prather hits it ahead to Bischoff, who scoops it up, but it rolled off the rim. Carr tapped it to Maddie, who was standing on the baseline. That gets it back to Chatard.
And for Bishop Chatard,
Didi Caskey is in for the Trojans. 52-30 is our score. Rashid into the paint, at the elbow, gives to Caskey for a high arcing three that's good. First points of the half for Chatard. And Abby Carr travels on the far sideline.
Into the game for Roncalli, 11, Alana Vincent.
Vincent's in for Bischoff. That's just the fourth three-pointer of the season for Caskey. She was 3 out of 16 from out there before that make. Rashid finds Caskey in the left corner. Vincent closes out. Roncalli goes to a 2-3. McGinley right side. Over the top to Caskey at the left arc. Rashid, nice pass in low to Winch. Puts it up, puts it in.
Anna Winch.
Well, Rashid has proven tonight, if you give her time to survey the defense, she'll pick you apart.
Yes, she will.
Prather goes behind the back, gets by Caskey. Scoop foul at the rim is blocked and a foul called. That foul on Caskey. Her first and the team's sixth.
Foul on number 3, Didi Caskey, her first, team 6.
So Roncalli is at the threshold of the bonus
At the line for the Rebels, Amanda Prather.
with a full 11 minutes of game time remaining. I hope you do not have dinner plans. We could be here a while with Roncalli in the bonus for the final 11 minutes. Prather shoots the first one off the back of the rim, no good. It got uncomfortably quiet in here all of a sudden. Need to watch my commentary.
People heard that they were going to be late for dinner.
People did hear that, yep. Prather had 6 points in the ball game. Deep knee bend, flies up the second one,
Long
off the back
again.
of the rim again. Abby Carr rebounds in traffic, pivots by the defense, flips up a shot over the rim that Bauer rebounds. And Vincent finds Bauer on a back cut, put it up, put it in. Well, the 2 points were collected, not the way they maybe thought they'd get it, but they got it nonetheless. And it's 54-35. The lead is back to 19.
It was a great back cut by Anna, but even better look by Alana Vincent.
McGinley fakes by Hammerschmidt in the lane, throws one up that rolls off the rim, off the backboard. Vincent outlets ahead to Bauer, who got behind the defense. She'll collect it, lay it in on a hit ahead. Bauer has 4 straight. And the lead is 21. 56-35, 2:20 to go. Third quarter. Pass over the top to Borchers in the left corner. Drive and leave to McGinley, who thought about a 3 top of the circle. And instead, McGinley regroups with a shovel to Rashid at the volleyball line. Rashid, left-hand dribble into the paint. Picks it up, finds McGinley on the wing, but a foul called on the pass. That brings action to a halt. First foul on Bauer. Only the first on Roncalli in the half. Prather checking out. And Bischoff is back. It's a 12-5 advantage in the third quarter for Roncalli. Off the inbound, McGinley catch and shoot corner threes, an air ball rebounded by Vincent. Again, Bauer leaking out on the hit ahead from Vincent, puts it up, puts it in. Bauer's turned this game into a track meet. And it's a 23-point lead. McGinley's fouled in the midcourt traffic. Couple defenders there. Hammerschmidt takes the foul.
Roncalli foul number 23, Ellie Hammerschmidt.
That kind of play with the way Chatard has gone in this quarter definitely is advantage Bauer, and she's taken it, you know, she has maximized that for sure.
Pemberton and Meek have returned for the Trojans, out there with McGinley, Rashid, and Caskey. Inside 100 seconds to go, third quarter. Caskey drives to the baseline. Nice bounce across the paint to Rashid, who puts it up and in. Rashid with 8. Came in averaging almost 19. 58-37. Bischoff crosses up Caskey. Pull up from the elbow, and Caskey fouled her from behind. Putting Bischoff to the line for 2 with 1:24 left in the third.
Bishop Chatard foul number 3, D.B. Caskey, her second, team 7.
Caskey's second, team 7th. Bischoff fouled in the act, shoots 2. First one kicks up and good over the front of the rim.
Line for the Rebels, Maddie Bischoff.
First 2 attempts of the night for Bischoff, who is a 70%er on the year. Spins the basketball, measures the second one. That one kicks off and rebounded by Pemberton. 59-37. Rashid pull-up 3 right side is high off the heel. Rebounded by Bauer. Gives to Bischoff, who waits for the traffic to disperse. Now Vincent, long 2 on the way that rolls off. Rebounded by Rashid. Rashid in the forecourt, finds McGinley, and McGinley fumbled it out of bounds. Thought about the shot before she had it collected. Lady Rebels have led by as much as 23 in this third quarter. 59-37 is the score. Vincent in the corner, Bauer, high arcing set shot, Karam's up and in. Moriana with 9 in the quarter, and she's in double figures for the second straight game. Had 11 last Thursday night against Indian Creek. Roncalli has pulled away here in the third. Caskey, a 3 left sides, an air ball over the rim. Rebound off the end line, last touch by Hammerschmidt. Stays at the visiting end with 30 1/10 left in what is a 17-7 Roncalli advantage in this third quarter. Stan Benn starting to go a little deeper in the bench. Mary Reisner at the scorer's table. Nice feed into Pemberton, who turns around and drop steps it off the window. Pemberton with 6.
Good move, but that too easy for the Rebels. That defense got us toughen up down there.
1-4 set out front for Vincent with 2 teammates at either elbow. Caskey pokes the ball and commits a foul. Roncalli over the limit, so Vincent shoots a 1-1. Caskey's third. Team 8. All 3 of Caskey's fouls have come here in the quarter.
At the line for the Rebels,
Mary Reisner steps in for Bischoff. Maddie may be done for the night with 24. Mary's in with 10.5 seconds to go. Vincent's free throw rattles good. Well, Lana scored in single digits in the opener against Perry Meridian, and she scored in double figures in 16 straight after that. One more can get her to 10. On the way and good. Third player for Roncalli into double figures, lead back to 24. 10 seconds to go. Reisner steals it. Vincent has time in the forecourt at the left arc. Picked up her dribble with 3, steps into a long jumper that's short, knocked on the floor, and that'll do it. But Roncalli with a 19-point third quarter, limiting the Trojans to just 9, and what was a 14-point halftime lead now stands at 24 as we head to the final 8 minutes, which is around the corner after this. On the Rebel Media Network.
Every day we go farther, try harder, and do things others think are impossible.
Top as we head to the final quarter. Be back with you on Friday night. The boys team will be here against New Pal. That game will be audio streamed on rebelmedianetwork.com. If you're a traditional over-the-air terrestrial radio fan like myself, you can listen to us on CBS Sports 1430 in Central Indiana. And we'll be streaming the game on the school YouTube channel if you'd like to watch. 7:15, the pregame show for that one. Then weather permitting, the boys will be down at Center Grove on Saturday night. That's a wait and see. Bischoff's back in the game, out there with Reisner. Maddie attacks down the left side of the paint, draws the foul on Pemberton, but Roncalli is in the bonus. So Maddie shoots a 1-1. That Center Grove game, we'll get a chance to look at Trace Jackson Davis, the prohibitive favorite to be Mr. Basketball.
Chatard foul number 41, Erica Pemberton, her 4th.
However, if Snowmageddon 2 arrives on Saturday morning, we'll be sitting at home watching playoff games or in college basketball games instead of being down at Center Grove. We'll wait and see on that one. Bischoff hits the first free throw. The lead is at 25. Biggest of the night, mistake keeps it 25 as she missed the second. 64-39. Outlet is deflected, but Pruitt scoops it up. She's in the lane, sidesteps, Carr lays it up and in with the left hand and draws a foul. Nice move by Anna Pruitt.
Rebel foul number 21, Abby Carr.
Foul on Abby Carr.
Team's third. Anna Pruitt.
That is her second, team third. Pruitt missed the free throw, tapped off the end line, last touch by Winch.
Entering the game for Roncalli, number 11, Alana Vinson.
Vinson is in for Reesner. Trojans pressing full court after the ball knocked out of bounds. Bischoff, Vinson, Prather, Bauer, and Abby Carr. Maddie has to get it in, look long. Instead bounces underneath to Abby Carr. Start out there with Borchers, Winch. Timeout. Roncalli was teetering toward a 10-second violation. So Stan Bench calls time. Full timeout's all he has left. We'll go ahead and take a 30-second break. Roncalli leads by 23. 7:35 to go from the woodshed. Stay with us. We'll return in a moment on the Rebel Media Network.
Hi, folks. It's Ben.
Every day we go farther, try harder, and do things others think are impossible. But for people who are passionate about what they do, it's normal. At Ortho Indy, we make sure of it. As the largest sports medicine group in Indiana and the official orthopedic provider for the Pacers, our specialists work to treat your injury from diagnosis to recovery and get you back in the game, because you were built to perform. Ortho Indy Sports Medicine, helping you get normal back, whatever your normal looks like. Every day we...
(64-41) our score. Roncalli on top. Bishop Chatard out there with Winch, McGinley, Borchers, Pruitt, and Rashid. Prather inbounding in front of the scorer's table. Finds Bauer. And with 10 points in the game, attacks in the paint, leaves for Bischoff. Maddie takes the dribble out between the circles. Still working against Rashid. Backs it out, Roncalli in no hurry, up 23. Led by as much as 25. Abby Carr drives to the foul line, finds Vincent on the back cut. Alana lost her footing, missed the shot, but Prather rebounds in deep. She puts it up over the rim. Vincent inside position, she puts it back up and in. She has 12. Roncalli just playing volleyball on the offensive glass.
And I like that. I mean, we were on the glass that time, and I don't know how well blocking out, but still we were there and finally got that put back.
Pruitt to the top of the circle with the left hand, lost it on the way up, and the loose ball is picked up by Abby Carr. Vincent across the line. Attacking, leaves for Abby Carr out front. Finds Bischoff, top of the circle. Guarded closely by Rashid. Bischoff crosses over to Vincent. Vincent regroups. Out front. Bauer gives it back to Vincent on a cut. Blocked by McGinley. Knocked off the end line. Ooh. Last touch, they say, by Abby Carr. That's the second time McGinley has turned away what looked to be a sure shot at the rim.
And you wouldn't think McGinley would be a shot blocker, but she times perfect timing on that.
Rashid, step back three left side is long, and rainbows out to Prather at the foul line. Amanda into the forecourt with McGinley on her hip. Diagonal pass intended for Bauer, but knocked off the end line by Pruitt. Stays at the Roncalli end as Dee Caskey returns.
Into the game, Chatard number 3, Dee Caskey.
As does Sophie Carr.
And for Roncalli, number 20, Sophie Carr.
Well, Chatard led late in the first quarter, in the final minute, 20-19. Since then, it's a 47-21 advantage in favor of Roncalli. Bischoff crossed up, Caskey got to the rim and laid it in with the left hand. Maddie has 27. 68-41. McGinley In the corner to Caskey, skip over the top of the Roncalli zone to Borchers in the paint. Her flip shot trickles in. Friendly roll in the back of the rim for Borchers, who has 8. 68-43. 5.5 to go from the woodshed. Roncalli trying to win its 5th straight, which would match its longest winning streak of the year. Began the season with 5 in a row before the schedule became a little choppy. Bischoff, right arc, crosses up, left hand in the lane, finds Bauer for a spot-up jumper that rolls off the rim. Vincent rebounds in the lane, took the rebound away from Bischoff. They're both there, but the putback is missed and picked up by McGinley. McGinley on the push. On the pass is fouled. Found Rashid in the corner.
Roncalli foul number 20, Sophie Carr.
Maggie Schoening is in for the first time tonight, the 5'9" senior.
Team's 4th.
And Bauer and Bischoff check out, presumably for the final time, with 10 points and 27 points respectively. Rashid left side for 3. That's short. Rebound, Borchers and Vincent fighting for it. And the arrow will keep it at the Chatard end. Bob, the Rebels have gapped Chatard here in the last two and a half quarters, but you look at a sophomore backcourt of McGinley and Rashid, they're going to be a handful for another couple years.
Yeah, they will be.
Caskey drew a foul at the rim in the paint on Hammerschmidt.
Rebel foul 23, Ellie Hammerschmidt.
Yeah, when you've got a team that's won double figures and both scorers, both your 2 best scorers are sophomores, you're set up down the road.
Well, but I'll be honest. Yes, I would agree with that comment. Their defense has been lacking for me this evening.
Yep.
Rebels have played well, no takeaway from that, but
Adams shoots 2, missed the first. Second one on the way, high arcer is good. Trojans finally make a free throw. They had missed 7 in a row to start the game from the line. Hammerschmidt picked up her dribble, finds Vincent. 68-44. 4:35 to go. Caskey jumped the passing lane. Will go to the other end and lay it in with the left hand. Caskey with 5 off the bench, all here in the second half. Hammerschmidt gives to Sophie Carr. Now Prather gets it into the forecourt. And Caskey poked it free off the end line. Stays at the Roncalli end. Bob, I'm always surprised there's no kind of indicator for a ball handler when a defender is coming from the backside.
That's a great observation.
The
great
boys team
point.
has the whole wolf thing where the bench yells wolf when somebody's coming from the backside. There's never any kind of recognition.
Well, I can tell you because I'm down there coaching.
Bischoff drives, put it up, no. Got her own rebound, now tied up. Caskey took it away. Caskey rolling around the ground, throws it right to Vincent in the thicket. Vincent steps through the defense and lays it in. Alana with 14.
I do not know, back to your comment, I do not know why that is, Rob. I mean, we talk about that all the time.
Caskey cut back door, drew the foul, laid it in. And put her on the line.
Basket's good by Dee Caskey.
Sophie Carr's foul, her second, team 4th.
Sophie Carr, her 3rd, team 6th.
So you've pondered that as well. I'm not just hallucinating.
No,
that.
and again, another item that drives me crazy.
Caskey hits the free throw. She has 5 in the quarter. 8 in the ball game.
One of the things I always tell girls is always assume somebody's coming because they want what you have.
Hammerschmidt for 3. Bang!
Good
she
for
got
Ellie.
it. First points of the game for Ellie. 4th 3 of the year. Back to a 24-point lead. 3.5 to go. Borchers a high arcing corner 3. That was a rainbow that fell. Oh my. See, in the new gym, though, that'll just look like a line drive 3.
Yeah, it will.
In here, it looked like a rainbow. 3:33 to go. Roncalli leads it by 21. Timeout Chatard will take one as well. 73-52 the score. We're back with more after this on the Rebel Media Network. here at the Woodshed. All Lady Rebels tonight. 73-52 the score. Roncalli is just 3 points away from a new season high. They scored 76 in the win over Guerin back on November the 10th. Vinson out there with Hammerschmidt, Bischoff, Schoening, and Sophie Carr. Ellie takes the dribble to the left arc, checked tightly by Adams, picked up her dribble, and Stan Binge calls time. Well, our sponsors appreciate all these timeouts. We'll go ahead and take another break. 3:16 to go. The lead is 21. We're right back with more after this on the Rebel Media Network.
Marian University wants to know, what are you made of? At Marian University, our students are made of character and faith. Our students are
Are you a barista? Because I like you a latte.
Milto Cleaners, we're pickup artists when it comes to your clothes.
Rob Brown, Bob Michael, with you at the Woodshed. Roncalli's Lady Rebels leading Bishop Chatard 73-52.
I'm going to digress for a moment about round basketball. Did I see, is it true, that the great Marty Brenneman made that announcement today?
Longtime Cincinnati Reds play-by-play voice on the radio has announced earlier today that 2019 will be his final season. And I am not the least bit okay with it. Us Reds fans, we knew it was coming. We knew it was coming, but
that's rough.
Yep, that radio will be on nonstop this spring. Bischoff got the step down the lane, put it up, put it in. Maddie with 29. It's 75-52. Rashid over to Caskey. Caskey has 5 in the quarter, 8 in the ball game. Picked up her dribble, hand off to Borchers in the paint. Finds Pruitt in the corner for 3. That's no good. Rebounded by Vinson. Vinson doubled in the deep backcourt. Going backwards and a foul called on the Trojans. 80 feet from the hoop. Roncalli's in the double bonus. So we take the long walk, and Vinson will shoot 2 with 2:39 to go.
Correction, number 10,
that foul on Borchers, her 3rd. Team 10. Vinson shoots 2. Alana, first one up, first one in. Well, that ties Roncalli's season high for points with 76. Prather is in. Bischoff checks out with 29. I presume she's done for the night, but I said that 2 minutes ago.
You've said that actually 3
Vincent's
times.
Second free throw rattles out.
So I'm going to hold you off on that comment.
76-52. Lead is 24. Borchers, another high arcing 3 from the corner. That one's short. Rebound ricochets to the floor, picked up by Prather. Vinson. Played by Rashid, and Rashid up too tight. Camille called for the foul. That's her first. By Roncalli in the double bonus.
On 13, Zakia Rashid, her first.
Well, Roncalli has not hit 80 points, and they're still 4 points away, but the last time they hit 80 was back on January the 8th of 2016. In an 80-35 win over Beech Grove. Vincent's first free throw is good. Alana with 15. Make that 16. Beg your pardon. 16 in the ball game. Natalie Hahn is on for the first time tonight. And for Hammerschmidt. More McGinley returns, as does Sarah Meek. Jada Moran, the senior guard, is about to come in. And Prather gets a nice round of applause as she checks out. 2:17 to go. The lead is 25. Second one on the way, good. And now Vincent checks out as Reesner returns. Alana heading out with 17 points. 11 of those came in the second half. Grace McGinley heads to the scorer's table. She'll step in at the next opportunity for Chatard. Pruitt runs into Schoening, throws up a shot, contact, no call, loose ball on the floor, and all sorts of scramble in the corner, and the tie-up will give it back to Roncalli with 2 minutes even to go. So Janie Gleaves is on, and Grace McGinley. Great couple of seniors. So now all 11 Trojans who dressed have seen the floor. Roncalli still has a couple on the bench that have not played yet. 1:56 to go. Sophie Carr out front. Takes the dribble to the wing. Emma Halter about to make her varsity debut. Mary Reesner travels at the elbow. So Emma Halter, the freshman, comes on. First time she's stepped into a varsity game, the 5'4" freshman. All-state volleyball as a freshman. Key member of that team that went to the regional final and lost to Avon. But she has acquitted herself nicely on the basketball court at the JV level, making her varsity debut here in the final 100 seconds from the woodshed. 78-52 the score. Caskey out front. Shovel pass to Pruitt, who drives to the foul line against Reesner, cut off. Posting is Gleaves, turns into a double team, throws it off the backboard, puts up her own rebound, no, but draws a foul. And shoots two with 1:20 to go.
Foul on number 10, Emma Halter.
That foul on Halter. Her first. She gets into the scorebook.
I was going to say, if you're going to get in, you got to get into the scorebook, right?
Glee's first free throw is wide right. That's how her dad, Gary, would do it.
Yeah.
1:20 to go. Gleaves measures the second one. That one is off right, same spot, rebounded by Reesner. Mary into the forecourt, 78-52. Halter, her first touch. Moran out front, played by Caskey. In the corner, Hahn. Natalie into the paint against Gleaves. Scoop shot high off the board is missed. Rebound in traffic. Outlet ahead to Grace McGinley. She jams on the brakes and gives to Caskey. Measures the right side three. Got it. Boy, Didi Caskey's looked like Diana Taurasi in this third quarter, or this fourth quarter. She has 8 in the quarter, 11 in the game. Off the bench. 78-55. Final 45 seconds. Schoening handles at the volleyball line, gives back to Moran. Roncalli will win its 5th in a row, tying a season-high winning streak, and improve to 3-1 in the league with one conference game to go. That's Friday night at Covenant Christian. Hahn top of the circle with 20 seconds to go. Roncalli should just dribble this thing out. No need to shoot anymore. But Halter puts up a three that's partially blocked. Rebounded by Reesner. She puts it up and in and draws the foul. Grace McGinley takes the foul, but Reesner's bucket puts Roncalli over the 80-point mark for the first time this season. And the first time since January 8th, 2016. Reesner's free throw kicks up and off. Rebounded by the Trojans. Caskey into the forecourt. Grace McGinley has it on the wing. Dumps down to Gleaves. Her shot's blocked by Schoening. Knocked off the end line. It goes to the Trojans with 1/10 to go, and that'll do it. All that's left to do is inbound the basketball. And Roncalli will improve to 12-6 on the year. McGinley deflected by Reesner, and that'll do it. So the Lady Rebels pull away over the final 3 quarters and score a season-high 80 points here at the Woodshed tonight in a conference win over their arch rival, the Bishop Chatard Trojans. Stay tuned. We'll step out. When we come back, we'll total it up and tell you all about it on the Steve's Flowers and Gifts postgame show. Up next on the Rebel Media Network.
Every day, we go farther, try harder, and do things others think are impossible. But for people who are passionate about what they do, it's normal. At Ortho Indy, we make sure of it. As the largest sports medicine group in Indiana and the official orthopedic provider for the Pacers, our specialists work to treat your injury from diagnosis to recovery and get you back in the game, because you were built to perform. Ortho Indy Sports Medicine, helping you get normal back, whatever your normal looks like.
What time do you have to be back to heaven?
Milto Cleaners, we're pickup artists when it comes to your clothes.
At the Woodshed, Roncalli's Lady Rebels win their 5th straight. And they put a conference win in the books as well with an 80-55 victory over the Bishop Chatard Trojans. Let's take a look at how the game unfolded. High scoring back and forth first quarter. We had 2 ties and 4 lead changes in that first quarter. Chatard's last lead was at 20-19. And Roncalli grabbed the lead for good with a 6-0 run to close out the period, leading 25-20. The run continued into the second. All told, it was an 11-0 run. Roncalli would continue to pour it on, leading by as much as 15 in the second quarter. More of the same in the third quarter as Roncalli scored the first 8 points of the third quarter, outscored the Trojans 19-9 in the quarter, and led 63-39 after 3. The lead would be as much as 27 in the final period. That was at 68-41, 2 minutes in. Roncalli with a 17-16 advantage in that fourth quarter. And it was all Lady Rebels as they were able to hit the 80-point mark for the first time since January of 2016 and improved to 12-6 in the process. It was just a straight avalanche in that final 3 quarters for the Lady Rebels. We're going to be joined here in a moment by Lady Rebel head coach Stan Bench as soon as we get Coach all set up here with a headset. I think we're ready to go. Coach, we got you all squared away here. Yep. We were talking before the ball game, both Bob and I, and you and I as well, that tonight had the likelihood to be a game that was going to be a little more up-tempo than what you've seen in recent games. That 25-20 score at the end of the first quarter, was that what you expected in terms of tempo in that first period?
I thought we'd play a little better defense than that in the first, but then we got hot and ended up getting the lead. But yeah, defensively, we didn't do what we needed to at the beginning of the game. So we eventually got there, but not well the first quarter.
What sorts of things did you see in the second and third quarter when you started to spread out and get the lead defensively?
Well, it's a matter of playing hard and knowing where your people are, not running up on the press and letting someone get behind you, and then know where you got to help off. And we just sort of went brain dead right there at the beginning.
What did you see from your team? I know you've mentioned a couple times in this winning streak that your team can be better on the glass. What did you see from your team rebounding tonight?
Well, I thought we played hard and went, but I didn't think we blocked out real well. So you got to block out and then go. But we are starting to go to the offensive glass better.
So you saw better progress on that end tonight.
Right, exactly.
Maddie Bischoff was able to exploit a matchup tonight. How much of that was what she was able to do individually, and how much of that was the play of Anna Bauer and Abby Carr inside that kind of freed some things up?
Well, Maddie's a heck of a basketball player. A lot of times she likes to stand. We get her moving, and then that opens up. Anna played hard. Abby having that third score with Abby Carr, and then Alana, they're trying to take Alana away, and so it opens things up for other people.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to look it up during the break. I don't know that you've had a game all year where you've had 4 in double figures, as you did tonight.
Yeah, I think one other game.
Usually 3 is a pretty 70 to 75% indicator of a win, but boy, 4, you'd be hard pressed to find a scenario where you'd lose with 4 in double figures.
Yeah, it's playing a little more up tempo so that we're not scoring 40 anymore. We're scoring 60, 70, and Did we make it to 80?
You did. First time in 3 years.
Wow.
First time in 3 years got to 80. How much of the offense in the last couple games has been triggered by the defense and getting easier shots?
I mean, it's not only the defense that does it, but it gets us moving better on offense because we kind of like to walk it down, and so now we're pushing it up and getting the idea of, hey, I run the floor and I can get some baskets.
Coach, we appreciate you taking a few moments for us. We'll catch up with you here next week.
Okay, thank you.
That's Lady Rebels head coach Stan Benj. We appreciate him taking a few moments for us. We appreciate him taking a few moments for us here on the Steve's Flowers and Gifts postgame show. We're going to go ahead and take our first and only break and come back. And Bob Susan Michael resting on his laurels a little bit. We'll talk all about the final numbers when we come back after this on the Rebel Media Network.
Steve's Flowers our mission is to establish and maintain the highest level of value and customer service at comfortable prices. The best in flowers
Schedule online, anytime. Getting an appointment with Ascension Care Teams at St. Vincent just got easier with online scheduling. Now you don't have to break away from your day to book the care you need when and where you need it. No matter where you are or what you're up to, whether you're a new patient or if you've been here before, just pick the appointment that works for you. Schedule online, anytime at stvincentcare.com.
Bob Susan-Michael back for the final time here at the Woodshed. Roncalli's Lady Rebels run their winning streak to 5 with a conference win, 80-55, over the Bishop Chatard Trojans. Let's go ahead and take a look at tonight's final numbers. Bob has those.
So for the Trojans from Chatard, Lady Trojans, Caskey ended up with 11 points on the night, 8 of those coming in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
She had a great fourth quarter for sure. McGinley had 8 points. Should have done my numbers a little quicker, Rob. Borchers had 11 points. Pruitt ended up with 6 points. Rashid had 8. And I'm going to mispronounce her name. I listened to you all night. Winch?
Yep.
Yep, thank you. 2. Adams contributed 3 points. Gleaves did not score. 2 free throws, 0 for 2. And Pemberton added 6 points for the Trojans, 55 total. For the Rebels, Alana Vincent was 17. Prather was 6. Sophie Carr with 1. Abby Carr with 12. Hammerschmidt 3. Madeline Bischoff with 29. Bauer 10. 9 of those coming in the third quarter. And then Mary Reisner rounded out the scoring for your Rebels with 2 late in the ball game for the season high for the Rebels, 80 total points.
And this is indeed, as we speculated moments ago, the first time all season that Roncalli has had 4 players in double figures. Second straight double figure game for Bauer. Bischoff was 2 off her career high, and Abby Carr matched her career high tonight with the 12 points off the bench. We take a look now at our player of the game. Couple different places we could go for that one, but certainly Maddie Bischoff was spectacular with 29 points. Vincent was big with 13 of her 17 coming after the first quarter, but we're going to give it to Abby Carr, who had 12 points off the bench, tied a career high, and Bob, her 12 points really critical to kind of jumpstart the offense when Roncalli was in a state of trading baskets before they started getting stops.
And I agree with that, and as we talked about kind of at the break, the thing that Abby Carr did very quietly, but it really set up Maddie Bischoff for her points, was that now she was occupying a lot of space, as I like to say down there. She was being very efficient, very strong to the basket. Though, as you said, I can't say it any better. That really jump-started the Rebels' run where they, got that lead and never looked back.
Well, Abby Carr, the sophomore, she is tonight's Ortho Indy star of the game.
At Ortho Indy South, their mission is to provide the highest quality, comprehensive bone, joint, spine, and muscle care to patients throughout the Midwest, the United States, and around the world. From diagnosis through recovery, their team is ready to get you back in action. Choose Ortho Indy South to be your official orthopedic provider.
Well, we update the records now. Chatard has dropped 2 in a row, falls to 12-8 on the year, 5-5 on the road. They'll next be in action on Friday night when they host Cardinal Ritter. Meanwhile, the Lady Rebels improved to 12-6, 5-2 here at home. Winners of 5 straight, matching their longest winning streak of the year. They won 5 straight to begin the season. And they'll try and make it 6 on Friday night at Covenant Christian. That game will not be broadcast. We'll have a stream for you on that one. Our next broadcast of girls action will be next Thursday night when Columbus North is here for the regular season finale. With the win against Chatard, Roncalli improves to 43-15 all-time against the Trojans, 22-6 here at the Woodshed, and has overall won the last 11 meetings. One other broadcast note before we say goodnight. Our next broadcast will be back with you here in these same locales on Friday night here at the Woodshed as Michael Wantz's boys team, coming off its first road win of the season, will take on a 7-4 New Pal club. 7:15 the pregame show. 7:30 the tip time. Gary Armbruster will be alongside for that one. You can catch us on RebelMediaNetwork.com or over the air in Central Indiana on CBS Sports 1430, or you can watch the game on the school YouTube channel. But Bob, some final thoughts tonight. Solid win for this Lady Rebel team as they topped 80 points for the first time in 3 years.
Yes, it was, and again, solid performance, doing a lot of the little things well. I thought defense, I think they took Chatard out of what I would imagine they wanted to do, which is always a good thing. And offensively, when anytime you put 4 players in double figures, that is a good offensive productive night. And so those were the little things, yeah, you can look at the points and say, hey, that's great, we scored 80, but how did they get to that 80 and who got us there? Obviously Maddie got her 29, and not taken away from that. But as a coach, I'm going to sit there and tell you, as I'm making this final run, I really like to see these other contributors, the Bowers, the Cars of the world, putting in those kind of points, because you're going to need that as you start to work through your sectionals.
Well, tonight's broadcast has been a production of the Rebel Media Network. The executive producer is Gary Armbruster. Our supervising director on the video side tonight, Stefan Welsh. Our student director is Jacob Taylor tonight. Logan Curie running the camera for us, and our booth announcer is Rachel Brown. For Bob Michael, I'm Rob Brown. Again, our final tonight from the Woodshed. Roncalli's Lady Rebels win their 5th in a row, an 80-55 victory over Bishop Chatard. Till we talk to you next time, on behalf of our entire Rebel Media Network crew, it's been Rob Brown saying, so long, everybody.